So I made this one video a little over a year ago, and it's my most popular and most controversial thing that I've posted on my channel. I was talking about Jimmy Page being a sloppy guitar player at times and comparing it and being self-aware to my own sloppy playing when I was first playing guitar. The comments about that topic were about 50-50 whether Page was a sloppy guitar player or not, but that's not what I'm going to be talking about in this video. Now, sloppy doesn't necessarily mean bad, and that's what I was sort of saying when I was talking about Page. It can be a type of guitar playing. But the hard thing is that if you are a sloppy-ish player, it can be very hard to play other things that you are eventually going to want to learn how to play, and you'll struggle and you'll get frustrated. I only know this from experience because I was in that exact predicament. So in this video, I'm just going to talk about how to clean up your playing, whether you're sloppy or not. I'll show you some exercises that you can do to sort of help yourself out of this, and also sort of help you be more self-aware of your own playing, so that way you can really figure out what it is that you want to get better at and then how to take the steps to get there. Now make sure you watch to the end of the video for those practice exercises. Now these are the ones that I've been doing for a few years now, and they have drastically improved my speed, my consistency, how I play much cleaner now, and all those things. And everything leading up to those exercises will just help you out even more, so it's important you watch before starting those exercises. Now before I jump into the video, if you're new here, my name is Matt Kelly. My channel is all about improving and learning more about the guitar, as well as doing some fun experiments on different gear and different sounds. So if you're into those things, then consider hitting that subscribe button. I would also like to thank Donner for sponsoring this video with their brand new earbuds. I'll talk more about them a little later, but for now, let's jump right into this sloppy topic. So the biggest issue I see in sloppy players, and this is something that I noticed in my playing before as well, is that I had bad pick and open string control. This is probably the #1 reason why some players can be sloppy. With inconsistency and not being able to sync your strumming with your fretting hand, as well as not being able to mute those open strings that you don't want to use, this is where things start to get dicey. Now, once we improve on those things, this is where our playing starts to clean up a little bit. I'll talk about some exercises that you can do to help with this soon, so keep sticking around. Now, another sloppy thing that I see some players do is playing faster than they can handle, and also just throwing their fingers around the fretboard and having somewhat of an idea of where they're at, but not entirely, so they kind of just get lost and just, like I said, throw their hands around the fretboard. And yes, messing up can be a part of this, but to be honest with you, I think messing up here and there is totally okay. Because 100% perfect playing just sounds really unhuman to me almost, and it's really nice to hear some of that flawed nature in people's playing. That's just my personal take on it. Now obviously if you're messing up all the time, then that's not gonna work, but hearing different nuances of all these different players and hearing like tiny mess ups that actually kind of work and see how they handle it, that to me is something that I really appreciate in a good guitar player. Now playing perfect does have its time and place for certain genres, but for the most part I think messing up is okay. And honestly, the more you mess up, the more you learn. Now back to what I was getting at is the more comfortable you are with the fretboard and you know your scales, the less of a guessing game this becomes. So when you're confident of where you're going on the fretboard, the sloppy mess ups become less of an issue. If you don't clean these things up, eventually you will struggle to play other things that you're inevitably going to want to play in your guitar playing life. Things like speed picking, alternate, and economy picking. Playing at faster speeds consistently, or even playing like other players that you find over time that may just be pretty hard for you to play like them. The list goes on and on. I remember really struggling to play at faster speeds, and when I would try, my sloppy playing would really hold me back. But luckily, I sort of found my way out of that by doing a few different things over time, so let's go over that right now. Now real quick, I'd like to thank the sponsor of this video, Donner, and their brand new earbuds. I just took a little break to walk my dog and I popped these in, and they are wireless and noise canceling. So they obviously hook up via Bluetooth, and if you're looking for affordable earbuds, then these are definitely for you. Now the really cool thing about these is that you can connect them to an app for extra customizable functions. Things like EQ, power display, headphone name, noise transparency mode switching, UI customization, and so much more. They also have smart touch control to quickly operate, so if you want to change songs, pause, play, you can do all of that by just touching them. They also come in a variety of different colors, so you can pick which one best suits you. Now they only cost under $50, and if you want to get a pair for yourself, you can actually get it for even cheaper by using promo code MATT at checkout. The links to all that is down in the description below, and thanks again for Donner for sponsoring this video. Let's now jump into some exercises that we can do to clean up our playing. So when we break down and really look into what's causing sloppy playing, it can be a bunch of different things, but here are just a few. Bad technique with your picking hand, your rhythm rhythm is off and you can't get it in sync with your fretting hand. You're rushing a lot when you're playing and you really don't have a good sense of the fretboard. Your posture and how you hold the guitar can cause some issues. Trying to play faster than you can handle. I said some of this before, but you get it. But most of the time though, it's mainly an issue with the picking or strumming hand. This is just as important as your fretting hand, if not more. If you don't have decent rhythm and your hands are not in sync, then you will struggle hard, but here are some exercises that we can do to help with this. Now, these exercises will help both with your strumming and your fretting hand, but it's really important that if you practice these over a metronome, you'll improve much quicker. Let's start with the first one. I'll play it and then I'll break it down, and I'll do that for the other ones as well. So for this one, you're going to be using all 4 fingers, and you're going to start with your pointer finger on the first fret of the low E string. Now we're going to go back and forth from the first finger to the first fret to our third finger, our ring finger, to the third fret, then our middle finger on the second, and pinky on the fourth. So we're going to go 1, 3, 2, 4. Okay, so we have... Practice that a little bit and kind of get used to it. So once you have that down on the first string, you have the first fret, third fret, second fret, fourth fret. We're going to do that same thing on the next string down, so on the A string. So we have, and then we're going to keep going all the way down to that high E string. So once we get to the high E string, we're then going to slide up a fret and do that same exact pattern. First finger, ring finger, middle, and then pinky. So now we have the second fret, fourth fret, third fret, and fifth fret. And we're going to do that same thing going back down to the low E string. Now we're going to repeat the same thing. Once we get back to low E string, we're going to slide up a fret. So we're now starting on the third fret, we're going to go all the way down. Once we get up to here, we're going to shift to the fourth, and we're going to do this all the way down the fretboard. Now when you're doing this exercise, make sure you're not going all over the place with your strumming hand. You don't want to go, it's going to mess you up. What you want to do is stay really kind of on the string. You sort of don't even want to lift off it. Maybe in the slightest you do, but take a look at my picking hand. It's barely leaving each string. You don't want to go, that's what's going to mess you up, and you're not going to be able to play as fast as you would like. So keep it clean, keep it consistent. So for the next exercise, this will help you move up the fretboard using the natural minor scale. This exercise will help you with your speed playing while changing strings, and this is something that a lot of sloppy players sort of struggle with. So we're going to do this one in the key of A minor, and this is what it's going to look and sound like. So you'll be able to see which fingers I'm using. I'm just going to call out what frets I'm using on each string. So we'll start on the 5th fret of the E string and go 5, 7, 8. And remember, we're also going to be doing alternate picking for this. So we're going to do that same thing on the A string. So now we're going to slide up still on that A string to the 7th fret, then the 8th fret, and then the 10th fret. So we have... Now we're going to go down to the D string, our pointer finger on the 7th fret, our ring finger on the 9th fret, and our pinky on the 10th fret. So we have... Now we're going to stay on the D string still. We're going to put our pointer finger on the 9th fret now, our middle on the 10th fret, and our pinky on the 12th. Now we're going to do that same pattern we just did on the D onto the G now. So we have our pointer on the 9th, middle on the 10th, and pinky on the 12th. Now this one's going to be a little bit of a stretch. We're still on that G string, but our pointer is now going to be on the 10th, our middle is going to be on the 12th, and our pinky is going to be on the 14th. So now we're going to jump down to the B string, and our pointer is going to go all the way to the 12th fret, our middle to the 13th, and our pinky on the 15th. Now we're going to stay on that B string as well, do another little bit of stretch, our pointer on the 13th, middle on the 15th, and pinky on the 17th. Now we're going to do that same pattern on the high E string now, 13th on with your pointer, middle on the 15th, and pinky on the 17th. Now we're going to do that same pattern again, but slide up 2 frets. So our pointer's on the 15th, our middle's on the 17th, and our pinky is on the 19th fret. Now for the last pattern, we're just sliding up to the 17th fret with our pointer finger. Our ring finger is going to be on the 19th fret, and the 20th fret will be our pinky. So all together, and feel free to play along with me if you'd like to. Try incorporating these exercises into your warm-ups every day, and you will be cleaning up your playing in no time if you do that. When you do it consistently enough, you will break those bad habits and just be on the right path of becoming the guitar player that you've always wanted to be. I really hope this video was helpful to you. I will sort of be making a part 2 that really dives into how to have better open string control, because what we sort of talked about today was hand synchronization and kind of doing warm-ups for those. But in that video, I'll talk more about that open string control and how to stop hitting those unnecessary open strings that we don't want to ring out when playing. So if you want to see when I post that video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. And thanks as always for watching, and I will see you in the next one.